Good evening, everyone. Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Schott here for this edition of Nate at 8. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and a good Memorial Day as we tracked some really gorgeous weather during the holiday weekend. And now, well, it's back to a lot of what we had before that pleasant stretch of weather as we're tracking some cool temperatures and rain returning across the Ohio Valley. And here near term, well, it's a lot of the same really going into tomorrow. More rain will be ahead and those cool temperatures remain. And for a lot of this stretch as we go into the weekend, that's why we're not tracking a real wet stretch of weather. We do have some more rounds of rain to track and those cool temperatures not going anywhere. Now, the question is, what about the future? Do we have a warm up in sight? Any dry stretch in sight? We're going to dive into that in just a minute as we take a look into next week for the start of June. But at least here near term as we go through this week, well, again, a lot of the same. Those cool temperatures. And yes, while not overly wet stretch of weather, we're going to be tracking some more rain ahead for this edition of Nate at 8. Austin joining us this evening on YouTube. How was your Memorial Day? It was good. How was yours? Hopefully it went well. It was a windy weekend. Certainly had that breeze in place, and we're seeing that breeze continue, Austin. So we're going to notice those wind gusts up to about 25 miles per hour again as we go not only for the remainder of tonight, but even tomorrow. So we'll still maintain a breeze as we go through tomorrow before those winds diminish tomorrow night. So our current temperatures now falling into the 50s. We saw those rain-cooled temperatures across the area, which marked quite a difference from one evening to the next. It wasn't that our high temperatures, they were cooler, but not a whole lot cooler. But certainly the cool down was felt with the rain-cooled temperatures this evening as those temperatures quickly fell into the 50s. Now we're seeing a big difference from one evening to the next as it's certainly a cool evening across the Ohio Valley. Now our temperature is not going to drop off too much from what they're currently at by tomorrow morning. So you really take how it feels now, and it's going to feel similar. We may drop a few more degrees and closer to 50 degrees. Ultimately, though, not a big drop off from where we're at now by tomorrow morning. And like I mentioned, these cool temperatures are going to stay in place. So the question is there warm up in sight? Can we return to the 80s? And the answer to the question for some of you are going to be happy with this. And the answer to the question is yes. It's cool here near term, but the future is looking much warmer. And ironically, with really the start of the month, it doesn't work out quite to be. But, in general, that start of the month that we're going to be seeing those temperatures climb back above that 80-degree mark as starting off the first on Sunday is still cool, but pretty close to the start of the month is when we'll see a pattern flip and temperatures are going to really start to ramp up, and we're going to be likely stringing together some 80+ degree days next week for that first week of June. So here near term, still going to be cool through the weekend, mid lower 70s, 60s. That's still pretty cool for this time of the year. Those average highs are climbing mid upper 70s as we wrap up this month and look ahead into early June. So a little cool for this time of the year still going through the weekend, but certainly we'll be back even above normal for those highs going into the beginning of June. Here near term, though, cool and still wet. As you can see, a lot of rain still showing up on radar across the area. And this is fairly occasional as we go through not only the remainder of this evening, but as we go through the overnight hours as well, as we're going to be dealing with quite a bit of rain in place. Notice the good news is, though, a lot of this rain is light. So thankfully, still can pile up a decent amount of rain going through tomorrow, but with the majority of this still on the lighter side with just some pockets of heavier rain at time, that thankfully the flooding concerns look very low for us during this stretch. So certainly good news there. It's more of a nuisance than anything impactful with this rain that we're going to have in place. So Futurecast illustrating this rain again, continuing occasionally as we go through the night. And we're going to be looking ahead even for tomorrow morning's commute with likely some rain continuing. And it's after that morning commute as we go throughout the day tomorrow that we will likely see that more steady rain taper back to a shower activity. Still going to be some occasional showers but likely some dry breaks in between these rounds of rain as we extend throughout the day on Wednesday, and especially going into midday and then on through the afternoon. By Wednesday evening and early Wednesday night, a lot of this will be tapering off. I wouldn't be surprised if we still have at least a few lingering showers tomorrow night, especially early on tomorrow night. And from there, we'll see potentially some clearing going into Thursday morning. And if we can get some clearing with these winds diminishing, then we'll have to watch. I think there's a potential for some fog into Thursday morning's commute. And that Thursday then going to be much much drier with respect to today and tomorrow, but we still maintain that potential for an isolated shower in the afternoon hours. Our temperatures then climb back into the 70s with at least a little bit of sunshine returning, and then likely dry into Friday morning before the following round of some rain moves back in. This is with the more shower activity that we're going to see arrive likely later to the day Friday, then continue into Saturday morning. So as you can see, as we were just tracking, there are several rounds of rain here in general as we go into the weekend. And during a lot of this stretch, it's still cool. We're likely not reaching 70 degrees tomorrow. After that, we are, but still in general for this time of the year, this is a cool stretch of weather. So to recap these rounds of rain, to kind of put it simpler, there's really two rounds to watch for. So the first one's ongoing right now, and we're going to see this continue then going again through tomorrow. So the first round's already ongoing. Again, it's more of a steady rain overnight. Then it can be more of a shower activity. So there could be some breaks in that rain throughout the day tomorrow. But those showers are present for the entirety of your Wednesday. By Thursday, again, it's a chance. There's a shower that's possible, still looking mostly dry. It's not a real wet day Thursday. It's mostly dry, but that potential for a shower is still there. It's going to be very hit or miss what we see on Thursday. Friday and Saturday, then is really the second round. So that's the next round to watch for, with showers moving back in later to the day Friday. So again, Friday morning, likely starting off the day dry. As the day progresses, we'll likely see more showers develop, and they can linger into Saturday morning, and then we'll dry up likely as we progress throughout the day Saturday. So it's a increase in rain chances Friday, decrease in rain chances Saturday scenario as we can go into the weekend. And once we dry up late into the day Saturday, then we're likely dry for the remainder of the weekend. So that's why I say through this weekend, really it's those two time periods to watch. Again, not too much overall Thursday. Yes, it's possible, but the real two time periods to watch is now through Wednesday, and again later Friday into Saturday morning. Those are the two time periods to watch for some showers as we do look ahead going into the weekend. In terms of how much rain we can get, generally about a half inch to an inch of rain total from today going through tomorrow. So still a decent amount of rain, no doubt. But in terms of flooding concerns, with a half inch to an inch of rain spread out from today going through tomorrow, thankfully, low enough to keep flooding concerns at bay, but still can pile up a decent amount of rain during that stretch as we go through tomorrow before a lot of this tapers off going into Thursday morning. And again, just that isolated shower possible then throughout the day on Thursday. Austin commenting on Jeff Exline, our chief meteorologist, Jeff Exline, Amanda Very. We're going over some of that this morning, showing a lot of the red sky at morning. Sailors take warning, right? That's the folklore. They were diving into that, seeing a lot of that beautiful sunrise across the Ohio Valley. But Austin, that's the folklore behind it. So red sky at morning, sailors take warning. Red sky at night, sailors delight. That is the folklore behind it. And certainly coming to fruition today, seeing that beautiful sunrise and the red skies out ahead of some rain that developed later on into the day. So that's the folklore behind it, which has a fairly good truth to it in general. That is a folklore that has some, not all folklores have, some good truth behind it, but that is one that, has some truth behind it and can be a predictor of the future conditions. And we did see that come to fruition today. Good evening there, Joe, to you. Thanks for tuning in. This current weather is great for the garden. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, Amanda. Certainly good for the garden. If you maybe just planted some flowers here earlier in the month, certainly good for that. Just waiting a little warmer temperatures, I think, may help the garden a bit more. It's certainly been so cool as of recent, hasn't it? Sarah, good evening. 54 degrees in Cameron. Yeah, talking about those cool temperatures, just a real lack of any warm temperatures. Only had a couple 80-degree days so far for this month. And, well, as we wrap up this month, we're not getting any more. This is set to be the most cool days I think that we've had for the month of May, at least looking back since about 2008. Just doing some preliminary digging before we wrap up this month and going off of what's forecasted here to wrap up the month. I think this can be one of the coolest Mays we've had in some time. We'll see what the average comes out to be, but certainly not going to be pumping that average up. If anything, it's going to be dropping. So, this could very well end up being the coolest May we've had in some time for us here in the Ohio Valley. It's just no warmth in sight here to wrap up the month. But when the warm does arrive, as well, start of June, early June, suddenly summer. Jeff Exline put it this morning as well. And there's no doubt about it that it is suddenly summer looking ahead to the beginning of June as temperatures are ramping up. And I think we we can get into a good portion of next week dry. So if you've been hoping for a dry stretch and warmer temperatures, I think we can get that. I think there's still some question and rain chances going into the middle of next week, but I also think that there is a possibility that we stay dry starting again, really at the end of the day, Saturday, but we take it by daytime Sunday, and then continuing into next Wednesday, maybe even next Thursday. So I think there's the possibility we could string together even 5 days, but certainly some question on rain chances in the middle of next week. Maybe we sneak in some showers before next Friday, but certainly overall next week, I think a good portion of next week is going to end up being dry. Maybe rain chances later into the week, a little better odds for that. But those temperatures, mid upper 80s, maybe we can sneak even closer to 90. Certainly going to be a lot warmer. It's going to feel hot to us coming off of these cool days in the 60s and 70s. We get back even in the mid 80s. That's going to feel hot to us, with this cool stretch of weather that we've been in. There's no doubt. So, a lot of us maybe even getting the pools ready around Memorial Day weekend. And now is that stretch of weather where we can get out and have more poolside weather. It's certainly more friendly for those pools looking ahead into next week. No doubt about it. And we're even getting back above normal for our temperatures. Those highs likely to really start off June. Not quite, but really that June 2nd it starts with those temperatures near 80 on Monday. And then they'll really ramp up later into next week. All right, well, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. I hope you had a wonderful evening. Again, we got to get through another pretty dreary and just overall damp, if not wet day tomorrow. A little chill to the air at times with a breeze in place tonight and tomorrow. Already feeling a little chill to the air this evening. A lot of the same tomorrow. Highs only make it in the mid 60s tomorrow, likely afternoon. And then by Thursday is when we're much drier, maybe spotting a little sunshine breaking out as well. Highs back in the 70s. So more pleasant day by Thursday. But certainly tomorrow, a lot of what we're seeing here for the second half of today, that's likely what we're going to see for tomorrow as well. You can catch me coming up Newsnight at 10 on Fox 9, Newsnight tonight at 11 for the latest. And as always, you can catch me coming up tomorrow evening for that next edition of Nate at 8. Until then, hope everyone has a wonderful night, and I'll see you on the next edition of Nate at 8.